Yeah, that's another question.
I have actually 2 questions. One of them which I already know because I asked before.
Yeah.
So the first thing is, do you think martial arts used in the right way can be used in certain situations outside the ring or the dojo? Second question is, what, in general speaking, from your heart, what is martial arts to you?
Interesting. Yeah. So, like outside of the dojo or outside of the ring or even like an octagon, if it's like an MMA fight, which is probably the closest you get to a rule to a combat sport without restrictions, it's gonna be an entirely different context. Because if it's like a professional fight, you'll bow down to each other and you'll both know when to start and you'll be in that mindset. Now, if you're getting attacked out of nowhere, perhaps, that's a whole different thing. And also, it could be a situation where you're seated like this when you get attacked. Or it could be like you're focused on your attacker and you're doing everything right, but then somebody pushes you in to the attacker from behind. So it's much less predictable if it's a self-defense situation. And for just that reason, I recently started training Krav Maga, which I feel has some great ways of training, especially for self-defense. So there's some good techniques. I'm not sure I'll want to absorb all of the techniques. I think it's more the training I really appreciate from it. Because they'll do stuff like every 30 seconds you gotta get down to the ground and then you gotta get back up in this. And you gotta keep focusing on your attacker, and then suddenly if the instructor yells 2 or 1, then the people with the number 2 will have to draw a rubber knife or something. And that's just one example of how they try to make sparring much more chaotic, much more resembling a real situation. That said, a real situation is just that, real and unpredictable. So you never know. There can be a situation where if someone's coming from a distance or something, then perhaps a side kick will be the proper way to deal with them. A high side kick even. It will always depend on the situation, but I think for self-defense, a lot of times it's best to keep things simple. And also to be very tactical and like knowing that everything around you can be used as a weapon, like even this one. And even if I were to use this one as a shield or something, I would not hold it like this, because there's a chance the attacker will, if it's not a very big person, he'll get in between here and it's at close range. But if I keep it like this, it's more difficult to get through. And then it's both a shield and a weapon. So anything can be used as a weapon, actually. That's one tactical thing to keep in mind. Also, like identifying the exits and just the focus of avoiding the fight if possible, because even if you do survive, you're gonna have to survive in court afterwards. And also, like, just like an elder person could, in theory, just like push me, and if I fell in just the right or more so wrong way, I might hit my head into something and I could actually lose my life just from a push. I've seen it happen once at a disco with some friends, where I didn't even see much because it happened so quickly, but my friend, this guy, he kept stomping my friend's feet, and my friend had some temper issues, so they got into a brief fight where they were just both holding each other, and quickly they landed on the ground, and apparently they had to call an ambulance, because when he landed on the ground, he hit some kind of glass, I think from either a glass or a bottle or something. This was Kødbyen So just a night out on the town, and it's just like you'll see on my video in sparring, sometimes we take hits to the face and kicks and stuff, but it's a much safer context. Just even like a simple thing can just go completely wrong out on the streets, like that situation. And I think also I want to share this, that I know I'm rambling. You brought up martial arts and I'm very passionate about it. But I think also like the best source for self-defense content, I have some videos marked self-defense which share stuff I believe in, which is good content. But a lot of what I do is not for self-defense. The best source would be Nick Gross's, I think. Can we perhaps search Nick Gross's his YouTube channel? Because I'm actually in communication with him about potentially doing a collab, and we'll see whether it happens. Yeah. But he has like 2 channels with about 300,000 subscribers or something, and he really inspired me to start this YouTube channel.
I'm excited.
So yeah, so this guy, he's famous in the world of martial arts and especially self-defense. If you want to learn some self-defense, I have some videos like the self-defense in a car. If you search Zen-Dragon self-defense car, which is really solid content, I think, for self-defense. But this guy has some really solid concepts, and I've learned a lot just from watching his channel. And he recently posted a post about how someone wrote to him that their life had been saved from just the awareness they had in dealing with the situation due to watching his content. Now, watching content won't teach you self-defense alone. You have to try and practice it, but you can learn a lot from this channel. And also, if that collaboration happens, it will be another dream come true for me. Anyways, yeah. Was there something I didn't cover? Because I ended up rambling.
Second one is, what is martial art to you? Just in general, what is it to you, really?
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna try and keep it a bit shorter this time. But for me, I have a holistic view on martial arts. So for me, it's self-defense. But for me, it's also like respectful fighting inside a ring where you bow for each other. It's also not fighting. And it's also like just doing forms out in the air. You don't have to do anything with contact to be a martial artist. It's just learning the techniques. It's everything from Tai Chi to mixed martial arts. And there's so many aspects to it. What appears to me a lot with particularly martial arts from Asia is there's also a lot of times a focus on the philosophy aspect of it. Sort of the yin and yang approach, that's how I interpret it. That if you know how to take action, you also need to become a deep thinker. So it's not enough to, it's the more you know how to be violent, the more you need to find peace as well, to have that balance and to be able to take that responsibility in your hands. So that's part of it. Another part of martial arts is fun, just the fun of doing it. And like, if you check out my channels, perhaps some of you already have, but you'll find so many different videos. So people sometimes put me in a box from watching one thing. Okay, this guy's all about practical self-defense. Or this guy is totally out of his mind. He thinks that he can just do a spinning strike with a long-range weapon which he would never carry. There's so many different perspectives, but a lot of what I do is for the fun of it. And even learning martial arts for self-defense, I think is still something pretty much I think everyone should do. But you can still get injured practicing martial arts, and some people can go through their whole lives not being attacked. The one thing you can't know for certain is that whether it will happen or not. Because, just from the few people I know in this audience, there's some people I know who have been attacked. And so it's like, It's a lot of things, martial arts. It's also about what it is to you. I like to focus on the various aspects thereof. Ultimately, it's a means of pursuing self-knowledge, I think, and improving yourself through passion or discipline. There's a yin and yang balance in that. So what you enjoy is going to be something through passion, but being able to also find the discipline and like stand like this, like you do in Kung Fu practice, just this isn't fun. This is not something I'm passionate about, standing like this, but it's great for this discipline. Yeah.